do something. But again, YB in game, the early game looks very strong here, Abstract.
Early game, all about adaptability, I gotta have to say. Especially when it comes down to jungle rotation, one thing's for sure is that the Joy plus the Jawhead is definitely gonna be a lot faster. When you have the smart missiles just clearing things out for the Joy, and not to forget the way that the Jawhead has been going around is that he's just ensuring that Joy is constantly gonna be up ahead. But ONIC PH starts to go over to the opponent's jungle already for a quick little invasion.
Yep. Right now, honestly, what ONIC Philippines is doing is they're freezing every single lane, so they're trying to oppress YB in game to make sure that they don't get to move more than half the space of the map. Super Prince got damaged a little bit by Unicorn, but still looking very, very well. Kirk now taking a lot of damage.
Doesn't seem like Kirk is gonna stay alive from that, and because of the enhanced speed of the clearing from Joy, they did manage to get level 4 onto Lucas a lot earlier than ONIC PH would have probably expected.
Yeah, and like I said, you gotta respect the damage coming in from YB in game. We saw that where Unicorn almost killed Super Prince, and Kirk, you know, got deleted by Fish God as well as Lucas. So again, even though they're world champions, this draft you gotta be careful. But YB in-game's draft is also volatile when it comes to the late game.
Yeah, honestly, I do kind of want to rewind a little bit where I thought that ONIC PH, they were given false information, right? Because they did manage to invade the opponent's jungle previously, which would have suggested that Lucas would not have level 4, which probably is the reason why Kirk kind of overextended himself at that point in time.
Now we can see Super Prince here going to the EXP lane, trying to absorb the level 4. It looks like he is going to get it. Unicorn doesn't really need level 4, so just harass him, making sure that he stays in lane. But now ONIC Philippines, as well as YB in game, Abstract looks like they do want to contest for this turtle.
Yeah, it's a lot earlier than I was expecting, especially since Brusco is not exactly level 4, but there we go. Super Prince just going to be going straight in for the ultimate and just hoping that they will be able to get a little bit more area control around the turtle. So far, no casualties just yet, but Fish God is just working his way, but flickers himself right out. A lot of flickers has already been expended, while Lucas finally makes his way over to the backlines, deal with Brusco. Kirk's next. As such, we do have YB in game that has managed to successfully take control of the turtle whilst taking 2 kills for themselves.
I really appreciate that YB in-game completely understands how their draft works, especially going up against ONIC Philippines, because again, like I said, they definitely have the edge come to the early game because their lineup does not need items for them to really do damage compared to what ONIC Philippines has. Brusco, good engage, and Ares is gonna get taken down.
With 1 man down from the side of YB in game, at least ONIC PH would definitely want to slowly get their way back to the game by getting small little straggler kills at this point, because they're not playing for the early, they're playing for the mid and the late.
Now, personally for me, Abstract, I feel like if YB in-game is able to slow down Kirk as well as Super Prince, this is going to make it so that... Oh, no.
Unicorn not again. Unicorn. He was within the confines of his own turret, but this is the power of ONIC PH after all. Having great high ground, plus King Kong can just go in for the Ogi Shadow kill. You can't really get away from that.
Honestly, against ONIC PH, with this lineup, I don't want to stay in mid, man. You got a Kalia, you got a Hayabusa, and you have a Farsa. Honestly, even if you stay at your second tier turret, they'll find a way to get you. Like this kind of draft is so easy in executing the gank.
Yeah, it's almost non-committal from ONIC PH. Like, if they really do want to head over to the gold lane and constantly oppress onto Bilexi, I don't think that ONIC PH will be too afraid of any of those at all.
Looking at the setup here, looks like the Selena being used by Unicorn is using the Inspire. Not a battle spell, but the emblem set, where this time also gives mana as well, so making it much more effective for mid laners that uses a lot of mana. And now looks like the gang going to gold.
The artillery strikes going on. It does seem like the Feather Airstrike is more than enough to kind of push Ares away and kind of force a recall onto Bilexi as well.
Yep, and all of that is to set up for the turtle, making sure that they have priority, making it much more easier. I hope that YB in-game sees this situation and tries to get at least the bottom lane turret.
Oh man, it's just gonna be starting things off with a Tsunami Slam, but it's not quite enough to bring Fish God down. But at least it is gonna be the objective that is taken out from the side of ONIC PH. But here, go look at this! A flicker coming in! from the side of Aries and allowed them to pick King Kong off. A great trade if you ask me. But in the meantime, a quick little stun from the side of Super Fritz. Not quite enough to bring Fish God down, but so close.
I would say that's a big win by YB in-game. Letting go of the Turtle Schmurtle, man. They got a kill onto King Kong, and they're able to get the bottom lane turret. And I feel like Kelra saw this coming, so he immediately went to the top lane and grabbed that turret for himself. At least there's an equal trade here, because if YB in-game gets one free turret and ONIC PH got nothing, then they're going to be playing from behind. So right now, YB in-game and ONIC Philippines, surprisingly enough, 5 minutes in, and we don't see that big of a goal difference here, Abstract.
Yeah, it's very much neck and neck. In fact, what I was thinking about adaptability is truly going to be the name of the game. But hold on a second, we do have a little bit of a conceal going on, and YB in game, I don't think that they want to engage for this unless they are being engaged on instead. As a Tsunami Slam just going to be working out. Well, in the meantime, Super Fritz goes up with the Feathered Airstrike. Didn't really quite catch anyone, but it's more of a way to push everyone else out in order for them to dismiss the original fight by picking off Unicorn.
This is one of the weaknesses of Selena. Amazing damage, a lot of mobility, as well as range, but not that great at clearing the wave, especially when you're all by yourself. And ONIC Philippines definitely use that to their advantage. Seeing only Selena there, they can really force a gank and then grab the mid turret essentially for free. So good understanding where Super Friends uses Selena a lot as well. Understand that she's not going to be enough of a player to clear the lanes.
Right, that is a great point. It just got me to think that in the early stages, Unicorn plus Ares, this combination is not something that can really allow the mid lane to push out to crazy extents. To the point that it would be understandable for ONIC PH to be able to get a lot of these lane priority in the middle lane that really enhances their side lanes with the influence of Fasa.
I would say YB in-game, the draft is very gold-centric just by time. Oh, Ares flickers in, but not getting anyone.
Yep, the title strike did manage to hit, but not quite really pull in with the Tsunami Slam. But regardless of all of that, Ares is going to be the first person to go down, one of the tankier members from the side of YB game. As such, this is where ONIC PH understands we gotta have to go all the way in, and Tsunami Slam catches on to Lucas. As now, with 2% down from the side of YB game, then realizes that, yep, we can't take this fight anymore. ONIC PH continues to oppress the rest of YB game, forcing YB game within of their interior turrets.
This is why Kalia should get banned, because the thing about catch heroes is that they don't care what you want to do. They will engage the fight, and then there's not much that you can do about it. But Kalia does it much better, where the range is just so long. Oh, but now Brusco, you might get caught. No, he doesn't.
Oh, Ares. He tried to be the one to start things fight, but doesn't seem like it's working out well. Ares doesn't have a lot of HP or defenses to really ensure that he stays alive from that burst damage from ONIC PH. And because of that, and what has transpired in the past few seconds to minutes, we are already looking at a 6,000 gold lead in favor for ONIC PH.
Yep, in just 3 minutes, a lot of changes has happened. But the game is not over yet for YB in-game, because the draft is very gold-centric, where all 4 other members of the team is really trying to create space, trying to buy time so that the Moskov gets his items. But at this point, I don't know if he will have the luxury of time to get his items.
I don't think so either, especially since at this point in time, I don't really expect YB in game to have a lot of damage right off the start right now. They are all very committal heroes, such as Ares himself, Lucas himself as well, and even Unicorn. Even if you do land your Abyssal Arrow, you have to go all the way in, and you are not guaranteed an escape mechanism. You have your dashes, sure, but you have to go all the way in. You need Ares to join in with you. You also need Lucas to join in with you. If you do want to bring one person at least down, you need to have 3 persons coming together.
YB in Games draft is really a draft where you want all the stars aligned. And again, going up against ONIC Philippines, I feel like it is a good idea, but it's just very hard to make sure that you don't do any kind of mistakes. And I would say it's not that YB in-game really did mistakes, but it's more on ONIC Philippines understanding the weak spot of the draft and immediately attacked it. And now they completely control how the game is going. If YB in-game wants to get back into the game, they need some kind of surprise catch.
Yeah, so it's all about catch. I gotta have to agree, right? They are a committal team. But in the meantime, ONIC PH, they have the ability to be able to back off and still being able to be in the fight, mainly because of the great amount of mobility plus the high ground that they have got from the Vasa. So as long as they have got great controls within the range of YBG Game's jungle, it's gonna be tough for YBG Game to set up these kind of surprise attacks onto ONIC PH.
Not to mention they have a heal.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, Kalia can just heal up the team. I see not a lot of players know how to use the heal on Kalia, but I'm pretty sure Brusco knows how to. But now, ONIC Philippines, this might be the final push!
Yep, as now we do have the Tsunami Slam just gonna be catching on one. Not quite enough to bring anyone down just yet. But the main thing that ONIC PH wants from this baby lord is to bring down the inhibitor turrets. With the top lane taken down, middle lane as well, and they're knocking onto the bottom as well. As King Kong goes straight in with the Ogi Shadow Kill, brings 2 person down with both Unicorn as well as Lexi. In fact, that is not gonna be over just yet, because 3 persons down from YBG Game, while ONIC PH, they are all still surviving. With Fish God being the only one that have to go against all. He is not a god. As such, he will not be able to stay alive.